Manthral here with I'm going to do a review, okay? This is going to be for different, the peripherals I use, which is, a lot of actual just Razer gear. Um, so I have the Razer Stargazer as my webcam now, which, if you guys have noticed, the picture quality is a lot better. Now, there is actually quite a few RealSense things that you need to download, or Intel RealSense, because the camera is actually an SR300, which is, an Intel version. So it's kind of like that, but it's Razer's version of that. But it does need that kind of stuff downloaded to properly use some of the stuff within it. It's a really good camera. The only issue I have with it personally is there is no zoom on it. I mean, it's not too much of a big deal, but like my Logitech one is what I was originally using. It was still a good camera. It just had a little bit of latency issues compared to this one. But I should also say that this video is 100% not sponsored. I'm not. There's nothing to do with Razer, saying, hey, review our products, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I wanted to review them this way you guys know how I feel about them and what I think. But yeah, the Stargazer, back to that. So far, it's a really good camera. I'm really happy with it. There is more stuff I want to do with it in time, but that is going to be some configuring and monkeying around with it when I go on vacation. I want to try to get the depth sense going. This way, maybe I can do no background and get rid of the red in the background. I'd have to get rid of the poster or the calendar right there, the kitties, but that's one thing too. So the camera's really good. I just, okay. But up next, I want to review the headset, which the headset is a Razer Kraken 7.1 Pro, because it has a microphone. Now, it is really good. It's really extremely comfortable. There's padding on the top and on the ears. As you can see, it completely encircles my ears too. It's actually rather generous with that. This way you guys can see. Actually does have a good size opening in there, just in case you have, bigger ears. I know everybody's ears are a little bit different, but it's extremely comfortable. I mean, I have no problems with it. Easily fits my head, and I have a big head, so. But yeah, it's really good. As you can see, it does light up, and it is part of the Chroma edition. And if you're not familiar with what the Chroma is, it can do multiple colors. It's not just one. I just have it set up as this one. But once you get the Razer Synapses, you can also change the color, the pattern in which it lights up, etc., etc. It's pretty cool. It's a very good headset. The surround sound is very good. So if you're using surround sound when watching my videos, and if a game has like some sort of surround sound to it, you'll be able to pick that up, and it's actually rather nice. Because even RuneScape, playing that, I noticed a difference with that. And if there's water to my left, I can hear it to the left or to the right, and stuff like that. Now, I will say a big part of why I haven't been doing horror games is because I'm actually pretty well deaf in my left ear. Not quite completely, but it's pretty bad. But eventually I will be doing some horror games here and there. Now that my camera setup is actually better, this way you guys can actually see reactions rather than like, oh, I'm really far away, you can't see me. But now you guys can actually see me, so that's why I wanted to wait and hold that off. Okay, so that's another thing down. But yeah, the headset is pretty good. The only issue I would have to say is the microphone itself, because now right now it's off. But if half this thing is actually a button, which is how you adjust it on and off. It does have a wire type thing, which that part's not the bad part. You accidentally squeeze that button sometimes when you go to pull it out. But I would have to say the biggest issue is, and I'm sure you guys noticed it too, is the reliability of the audio. Now, it might be that I bent the wire too many times and it might not work the way it should, but overall it should be okay. So, just, I'm sure you guys noticed in some of my older videos, sometimes the audio kind of dropped out or changed just a little bit. But that's the only issue I personally see with it. But it's a really good headset. Just if you do go to get it, it would be good for, if you're playing games and you're just using that to play games with. But otherwise, I would use, an actual, like if you're going for recording, I would use an actual, external microphone. It's easier, it's better. Okay, up next, I'm going to go over the mouse, which is this, which is another Razer gear. Now, this is the Razer Naga. Now, as you can see, it is a corded mouse. I personally prefer them. I know a lot of people aren't very big a fan of cables, but when it comes in terms of reliability and service, you always know the cable's connected. You don't have to really worry about that. But now for the actual functionality of the mouse, it is really good. Really, to me, it's really light. I'm going to try to move the camera here so you can see the mouse. There you go. So as you can see, it's pretty comfortable because like my finger will fit right there, right like that, and then the pinky's on the side to help added support. It's very good. It's a very comfortable mouse. Now, the buttons on the side here, at first I thought it was going to be kind of rough. I didn't think it would be very easy to use. I thought it'd be constantly tripping buttons, but I'm not. It's not that bad. Because they have a mechanical feedback. So they're actually a little bit stiffer than sometimes like other keyboards, other key buttons when it will actually be, which is very nice. And if you do have Razer Synapses, as you can see, I have a lot of Razer equipment. I'll actually open it up here. You can actually customize your key maps. And it tells you exactly what they are, and which is actually kind of nice. But you can use different key maps. You can check into your performance, your lighting, the calibrations, there's add-ons, you got your stats. So there's a lot you can actually do with the mouse. So you can even it even categorizes games for you, which is actually kind of nice. See, as you can see, like RuneScape, it's not really saying about the Black Widow's keystrokes. It's more or less just it's recorded the Naga. But yet again, I went into the Naga's thing, so that is why that is the way it is. Oh, and right here, if you go into the side view, you can actually customize how these buttons go. So you can have them, like I did it with my numpad, because if you're playing a lot of MMOs, this way you can actually set a lot of your hotkeys up to these right here on the side, and then you can just keep pushing those buttons to go through further, which is actually really nice. I find it very useful, even just with RuneScape itself. Like I'll put my thresholds and ultimates right there. This way I'm not doing everything on keyboard, because I like to be able to point click if I have to do what I need to do. But overall, the mouse is really worth it. I would never probably actually want a different mouse other than Razer's mouses now. Up next, I want to go over the mouse pad, which you guys see. Now, I'll try to do this again. Okay, the mouse pad, as you can see, it is actually the Firefly. Now, why it's the Firefly, as you can see, that logo is lit up now. And it's going to probably slowly fade here. It's supposed to do a breathing option, but it's not doing the breathing option. But I probably have to reset the settings for it. But it's really, really, really good. It's a really big mouse mat, which I wasn't really too sure about doing for a while. But it is really good. It's very smooth. It's very soft. The lights, so far with it being on, the desktop, it's not really a big deal. It's not really causing me any issues. So that's one thing. And then I do want to show you guys that it does light up around the side, and it has a rubber gripped bottom to help keep it from sliding around all the time. So that's actually really useful and really nice. But it's a pretty good mouse pad. Now next I want to show you the keyboard, which is just right here. This is the 2016 Razer Ultimate Black Widow. It's really good, really easy. I like the tactical feedback to it, which I'm sure you guys have actually heard in my videos, which is that. So if you hear the clicking, that's what it is. It's my keyboard because it's a tactical feedback one. I think it's tactical. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's tactical. Again, like with all the Razer equipment here, you can change all the lighting settings. The only difference with this one is I can't change the color because it is not part of the Chroma series. That's all that is. But it is really good. Oh, I should mention my mat is called the Firefly, and it is also part of the Chroma. But now the keyboard, it is not part of the Chroma, but it is really good. There's actually a USB port on the side of it, so that's pretty nice if you have a very short cord for a mouse, or if you have something you just need to hook into the side real quick. It's actually very good for that. And before I forget, also the mouse, the DPI, you can actually adjust it. So I'm going to put it up to the maximum setting. Well, you can't see because my webcam's in the way. That's the maximum setting. I am barely moving my mouse at all. Go down one, still pretty fast. Go down another one. As you can see, it's slowly decreasing in speed. And see there, I slowly have to move it more and more just to get it going. But it's pretty good. You can really adjust the DPI, and if you're not familiar with what the DPI is, it's essentially your mouse sensitivity, but it's an extra option for your mouse sensitivity. So yeah. And then to get back to the Black Widow, I keep getting sidetracked. You can go into gaming mode, regular mode. What gaming mode will do is it'll lock out it'll disable. Let me bring up my Razer Synapses here again. We'll go to the Black Widow here. What gaming mode will do is it'll allow you the option of disabling different keys, which is actually pretty nice. It can disable your Alt Tab, your Alt F4, and your Windows key, which for some people that's actually going to be a pretty big deal. Oh, I just realized my webcam was completely covering up this stuff. So yeah, as you can see here, here's the different things. And back to the Naga, once you have it, see, this is what I was talking about when you can alter the keys. You can actually have them select your performance. I usually keep it right about here. You can adjust that. See, as you can see, and it goes all the way up to 1600 DPI. Now, me personally, I don't like it that high. I usually keep it about 1800. This way it's a little bit stiff, but it's not too stiff. Well, actually, I keep it a little bit above 2800. You got your rolling rate, a whole bunch of stuff you can actually configure for these kind of things, which is really nice. So, sorry about that. I did not realize that first because I was actually looking at my OBS, which is over here. So I never realized I was actually going on. But yeah, so the Black Widow, you can enable the gaming mode if you really want to. The Synapsis really does actually have a lot of stuff you can do. But also, there is something called Razer Surround Pro, which I don't use it because I use my headset, and it's not compatible with your headset. It's actually stuff to help you with like equipment that doesn't have the 7.1 channel with surround sound, and you can use it with any stereo headphones in. So it's basically them trying to give anybody the maximum for your current equipment, which is actually rather nice of them. I mean, it only costs $20 to do it. Well, it said it's only $20 to do it normally. I have a feeling, since I got a lot of Razer gear already, that it did not require me to pay me because I got it for free. But also to go into the Stargazer, if it lets me here. Here's the Stargazer's setting. You can get third-party apps. It does tell you supported apps that it does support. But that'll be your adjustable settings in that, because there's actually no lights on that. Here's all the stuff like for the headset actually, and here's what I'm saying. You can go into the lighting, the equalize, mixer. There you got all your volumes. So there's actually quite a bit to that. There's all the audio boosts, which I rather like all that kind of stuff. Okay, and up next we will go to the Razer Siren, which is something you guys have actually been hearing now anyway, which there is a 16-bit and 24-bit. I don't know really what the difference is between the two, but I'm using the 24-bit. I couldn't really tell a difference. And then there's also a sampling rate. I don't know exactly what that does either. So I kind of left it with the default. I think I left it with the default. But it's a really good microphone. It's picking me up no problem, as you guys can plainly tell. I could turn up the volume a little bit more for its sensitivity, but there is other people in my place, so I don't like to do that. This way they're not being eavesdropped into or anything like that. So now we'll go back into the Firefly Cloth, because there is some settings in here. Basically, you can apply your chroma settings at any point. You can give the different types of... Oh, right here. Here is the different settings you can do. I did actually have it set up as static. I thought for sure I had it set up as breathing. But there it was plain as day and said static, so... For some reason, it's having a little bit of issues, and I'm not entirely sure why. But we went over pretty much about, I think, everything here. Oh, there's one more thing, but I want to do a little bit more into the Siren. I actually want to show you guys the Siren. So this is a Siren. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear me right now. But on the back, it has different volume gauges. There's a volume gauge on the front, which I'm not sure exactly what that is for either. It's something I have to play around with it a little bit yet too. I don't want to kind of move it because I don't want to deafen you guys at all. But yeah, it's actually a pretty nice microphone. I don't have the filter for it or the mount for it yet. But in time I probably will get at least the filter for it. If you're not familiar with what the filters do, Filters are actually very nice for keeping out sounds that kind of like your breathing sounds and stuff like that. So it's nice for that kind of stuff. Now there is one more device. I haven't used it yet because it's not come to being needed yet, but it's the Razer Ripsaw. Now I did have it set up, and if you don't know what the Ripsaw is, sorry, that's still open, it's starting to bother me. Okay. There we go. That was bothering me. I had to get rid of that. But the Razer Ripsaw, what that is, that's a capture device. So what that means for the channel is that eventually I will be doing PS4 games on here as well. Now that's a little bit of a spoiler because I didn't really want to say it, but I did want to give a review on their stuff. Now, I haven't used it very much. I don't even really keep it plugged in. I keep it plugged into the PS4 and the TV, but I don't keep it plugged into the computer because I don't want to have it on all the time and when it's not in use. That'll be why for that. But from what I did experience with it, because I did test it out a little bit, because before I would give a review, I want to test it out. This way I'm giving you guys fair information. And I would say it is really good. The frame rates were really good. Like, I had no issues with it. Like, you could not tell it was on a capture device. I don't think there's any latency. Frame rates didn't really drop. Nothing. Everything was the same. I basically could take my OBS and sit it right here for you guys. Ooh, that is weird to go into picture-in-picture. But I could do it just like this and play the game. You know, I could use OBS to play the game. So, you know, like, I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, lag drop. Matter of fact, I'll even, when it comes time that I do play a PS4 on the channel, that'll be something I do. And see, that's another reason why I want to finish up a lot of these games I am playing, because I want to bring more games into the channel, because I do have the new Skyrim, but it's on the PS4. I do have that. I do have quite a few games I want to play on the channel ever since I even started the channel, which like is Thief and stuff like that. Now I did want to do the Morpheus, but I'm going to have to do some configuring for that, because it seems like I can't actually pick up the Morpheus. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments to get that figured out before I can do that, because I do have the VR headset, which come on. There we go. Yeah, I do have it. So it is something. A lot of cables are kind of intertwined over there. I just got done reorganizing some stuff yesterday, and it's not all quite the way I would like it yet. But I do have that. I do want to use that for the channel, but there is some reorganization that does need to take place and some configuring of how to get that into here. I don't really have, other than rigs, I don't have any VR games yet, but in time I will get some more. But this is mainly about all the Razer gear I have, which Ripsaw, you know, ties into that, because that's something I want to use with that eventually. But I think that'll actually do it for this review episode. So if you find any of this information, if you have any questions about any of these items, please feel free to ask me. I will gladly test it out. Oh, there's one more peripheral I do want to show you guys, and it is the controller. I found it again. It's just your basic $20 Logitech controller, and you know what? It works great. There's no point in going out and getting a fancy expensive one when that can work just as good. And it's just like the PS3 controller, if you will. It's a little bit, smaller than the 4. Well, it's a little bit different than the 4. It's kind of like a fatter controller. So it's actually better grip. But it's in the same style concept as the PlayStations. But again, like, this video is not sponsored by any of these companies that I had mentioned. It's just me wanting to give you guys the review for whatever gear you are considering getting. I would say I would give a review on the lapdog, but I kind of got rid of that. The lapdog was really good. I will give a little bit of a description about it. It was really good. It would be great to use if you're doing couch gaming, bed, whatever, whatever you're using for couch gaming. It would be really great for that. It was really great for that. I did love it. The only complaint I had about, the only complaint I did have about it was the padding underneath. The padding was connected by 6 small magnets, probably about like that. And the magnets were basically just hot glued inside of the like the hard part of it. So when you put the cushion on, there's a lot of times it just fell off, and eventually the magnets fell off. It was really good, but the cushion part of it needed work. If it wasn't for that, if it would be just straight into it, it would have been great. It would have been like the best thing I've ever used for like couch gaming. Now, I haven't really used anything else, but it would have been fantastic if it was just been, fixed into that position, and then just that little screwdriver, if it could have just been kept like in a separate bag. That would have been my only complaint about it. It was a Corsair product. Well, it is a Corsair product. It's designed for Corsair products. So the fact that my Razer keyboard didn't exactly fit properly, that's kind of to be expected, because they had designed it around some of their products, which, as you guys can tell, and I'm sure Vic have experienced, no 2 keyboards, unless you get the same 2 keyboards from the same company, are exactly the same. So it was really good. I mean, like, all the cord, you could plug 2 USB inside of the laptop, so you could have your wires running inside of it, and then there's 2 USB on the outside, which made it really nice. So it was good. It's just could have been better, if you will. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped you out with any questions. And like I said, if you have any questions on any of these products, please feel free to ask me, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later, guys.